Protein-packed prawns smothered in a punchy marinade, resting on a pile of whole wheat couscous, fruit and veg with capsules of pomegranate providing bursts of sweet joy. This is one sunny celebration of food you won't want to miss out on.
So first up, look at these prawns. We've got 6 of these bad boys.
We're going to add some big flavour with a marinade.
So all I need is 2 sprigs of rosemary. That's all you need. And by the way, rosemary and shellfish, they're not thought of as being like best friends, but I'm telling you, it works an absolute treat. Just give it a good bash up. You know, it's going to help you use less salt because you've got loads more flavour going into your food. Then we're going to hit it up with 2 cloves of garlic, OK?
Garlic is a source of vitamin B6, great for the immune system. Next, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, followed by saffron.
Just a subtle little hit of that is going to give you the most wonderful sort of like barbecue vibe going on. And then a little pinch of saffron. And it gives you the most incredible colour. So that goes in. Now, one thing's for sure is that saffron requires infusion to pull out all of that beautiful flavour. So just a little swig of water. So kind of, in essence, we're making a tiny little cup of bonkers tea. So just drizzle in 1 tablespoon of good, healthy, extra virgin olive oil. Look at that. The colour is just amazing. That, my friends, is one hell of a marinade right there. So you could use that on pork, chicken, all sorts of skewers and wonderful things. But this is going to go on our prawns. Now, prawns, inside this beautiful prawn is a little vein that we want to get rid of. Just get some cooking scissors and just cut all the way down the back. It's very simple. It opens up that area, and then we can pull out that vein very, very simply. Just like that. And of course, it makes it cook quicker. It allows flavour to get in, and also it splays open like a beautiful kind of butterfly prawn.
In longevity hotspots, they tend to choose proteins lower in saturated fats, like seafood. Reducing red meat in your diet will help lower cholesterol and keep your weight down.
Now, the prawn is a fantastic source of protein, really, really high in vitamin B12. Now, the reason that's a really important one is because it's great for your nervous system and your immune system, so it's fantastic to get your hit of vitamin B12. We are gonna just get our hands in there now. Look at that. That is gonna be a joy to cook and to eat.
I'm taking inspiration from our friends in Costa Rica and trying to get more fruit into your life. We might not have the Marinon or the Spanish lime at our disposal, but a good old orange is a fantastic source of vitamin C.
Toss those also in the marinade. It's such a picture. Such a picture. I mean, look at that. Incredible colours. You know it's going to be good. It's going to cook so well together in the pan, or you could even roast it. So, moving on.
While your prawns marinade, pour boiling water over the whole wheat couscous. Cover and set aside for 10 minutes to fluff up.
Next, veggies. This dish is one of the most exceptional ways to effortlessly get your 3 of your 5 a day.
This veg will add nutrients and fibre to the dish. I'm using peppers, courgettes and asparagus. But use whatever's in season. A variety of colours tend to mean a wider variety of vitamins, so don't be afraid to mix things up.
Last but not least, 1 or 2 chilies, depending on how hot they are. Always nice to get a bit of heat going on in there, but subtle heat. We don't want to blow anyone's head off. It's just a nice little hum.
These fiery favourites are super high in vitamin C and also contain anti-inflammatories.
Let's pour that into our bowl. And we now want to flavour all of this with a lovely, simple, clean dressing. It's kind of St. Clement style, oranges and lemons.
Squeeze the juice of 1 orange and 1 lemon over the couscous.
More vitamin C, more goodness. The sweetness of the orange will balance the acidity of the lemon. And you could add olive oil if you wanted to, but this is fat-free. We're not going to go into the olive oil on this particular one.
Add some finely chopped mint and mix it up.
Use a spoon, but I like to use my personal spoons, which are my hands. Get in there. Look at that.
Time to cook the marinated prawns and oranges.
Every last bit of juice. We want it all in there. As it cooks, the prawns will start to change colour. Have a little toss around. They won't take very long to cook at all. Move everything around so it has full contact with the pan. Can you see this prawn? Butter flying out? See how it's just opening up as it's cooking? So now we've got a nice colour on both. We can kind of toss this around, and that's what we're talking about. Really nice, gnarly prawns.
And the orange slices will now have a lovely, fragrant, caramelised flavour as well.
So let's plate up, guys. I love, by the way, serving this as a share plate, and then we can go around with those amazing prawns. They're so beautiful. The colour's extraordinary. When you do finally squeeze the juice out, that's what we want. Beautiful, sweet, gorgeous, caramelised juiciness. Get all the flavour out of there and pour that over your prawns. Wowzers. Got it all over me. Yeah, the mess has started. You wait till the end of this. It's going to be everywhere. So, we have nearly all the elements of perfection here. We've got our carbohydrates, that lovely whole wheat couscous. We've got amazing protein in the form of those prawns. We've got veggies galore, citrus galore, herbs galore, and to finish off all of those food groups, dairy.
Topped with little dollops of mild, cooling yoghurt, a sprinkling of mint leaves, and finally juicy jewels of pomegranate.
Those little capsules of sweetness. Imagine eating the sort of spicy, saffrony, sort of beautiful prawns and some veg, and then that pop of sweetness from that. I mean, look, it's such an incredible colour. So just grab it, put it between your fingers like that, and from a height, celebrate mess, because the mess is going to start now. Just get it amongst it from a height, and just do a Jackson Pollock, mate. You want to create mess. There you go.
Warmly spiced prawns on a bed of rainbow-flecked couscous, and that all-important vitamin C-rich fruit. And like my Costa Rican friend Huber said, why buy something synthetic when you can eat something so delicious? Not bad, rolling in at 572 calories per portion.
So all we have to do now is eat it. And there ain't no polite way to do this. Right, here we go. More juice over the top. Be prepared for a mess. Head off. Get the shell off. Really delicious flavour. Veggie, couscous. It's a complete celebration of everything that's good for you in one dish. What a joy. What a joy.
A rich, hearty superfood black bean stew with bold, smoky chili flavours, topped off with a fresh zingy salsa, rocking in at only 532 calories a portion.
The thing I like about this is it's 485 a day, it's delicious, it's comforting but very, very, very healthy. It's going to be based around veggies and you're going to see so much colour.
All the healthy hotspots I've visited eat a mainly plant-based diet, so we could all do with trying to eat a little less meat.
I never want you to eat veggie dishes because you think you should, or you have to, or it's healthy. I want you to eat them because they're delicious, first and foremost, and then all of the nutritional benefits just follow behind it.
Firstly, we're going to roast off some veg.
So here we got butternut squash, absolutely brilliant, love it. So I just want to carefully half it. Now, it's round, it's got a little skin on it, and if you're not careful, this can be dangerous. So please, 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 be very careful. Tip of the knife goes into the half, go straight down to the bottom, and use your weight to carefully take it down like that. Swivel it around, and we do exactly the same.
For this recipe, we only need half, so take out the seeds and cut into 3-centimetre chunks. Then pop into a roasting tray with a pinch of salt and pepper and a teaspoon of ground coriander.
They're coriander seeds, ground up. You can get it in the supermarkets. You can get the seeds and pound them up yourself. Unbelievable with squash.
Add in just a teaspoon of oil.
Get your hands in and just have a little toss up. Notice the skin is on the squash. The skin, for me, is the best bit. It goes deliciously sweet and candy-like, but also it's where a lot of the nutrients are and the fibre. So really, really good. And squash specifically is really good for vitamin A, so it's good for your eyesight and eye function.
Slice and add 3 peppers to a separate roasting tray.
I really love peppers. Peppers, full of vitamin C, and of course when you roast them, they go outrageously sweet and gorgeous.
Season with salt and pepper, Then add a teaspoon of smoked paprika for a big smoky flavour and a teaspoon of oil.
We're going to massage those flavours, seasonings into this. Look at that. That's flavour right there.
Put both trays of veg into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit, for around 30 to 35 minutes.
Get yourself a pan on. I like using a nice casserole-style pan. We're going to big up more veg.
To kickstart the stew, peel and roughly chop 2 onions, but reserve a quarter for the salsa later.
1 tablespoon of oil into the pan. Just put it to one side, like that. Then we want to use bay leaves, these little bad boys. We want to get in there with 4, 5 or 6. Just get them into the oil and they'll start to slowly fry, release their natural oils. They smell incredible and they'll give the base of the oil a sort of nice little perfume.
Crush in 4 cloves of garlic.
Then we can go in with our onions. Normally in cooking, you'd want to drench it in oil. And every tablespoon of oil, you're sort of pushing another 120, 130 calories. So let's just keep it clean, let's be restrained. And what I want to do is really help the natural sweetness of the onion come out without loads and loads of fat. So a lovely way to do it is just take a little cup of water and just stop that frying. That little splash of water sort of stops the hard frying. It sort of dissipates the oil around every single little bit of onion. So it takes a long way. Also, it's sharing all the flavours. And as it naturally sort of cooks down and evaporates, then you've softened the onion to the point where we can turn it right down. Right? And that's the key. With big flavour and vegetables, it is all about intensification and concentrating natural flavours. So roasting does that. And frying slowly does that.
When the onions have softened and intensified, add some balsamic vinegar and turn the heat back up to full whack.
I'm going to add the kind of hero of this dish, really, because the powerhouse of this dish is the black beans.
Put 2 tins of black beans and juice into the pan. Half fill both tins with water, swish it about and add back in.
So look, give them a nice stir here, bring it to the boil.
So that's the base for the stew done. Next, I need those gorgeous roasted veg.
The spices, they've stuck to it. So that's real flavour that we've got there. So let's just scrape that into our pan. We'll put in there. And then with the peppers, exactly the same. If I just put a little swig of water in there, that is all caramelisation, sweetness, that's all the juice of the peppers. That's almost like gravy. One more ingredient before we let that simmer, okra. Probably something that a lot of people haven't tried before. You can get it in the supermarkets, you can get it in the markets. This is absolute classic South America, the Caribbean, really, really good. What I love about it is if you finely slice it, it's kind of like a natural thickening agent, so you can put it in stews and soups and stuff, and it just makes it absolutely gorgeous.
Add 100 grams of okra to the stew. Turn down the heat and simmer for 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, time to make an amazing, colourful salsa. Salsas are just dreamy when it comes to contrast. It's going to be like light and shade.
Finely chop the quarter of onion, your coriander, then de-seed and finely chop 2 tomatoes, along with 1 chilli.
Then it's lime time. Just give it a little roll with your body weight. And there's another sort of great excuse for flavour. If you get one of these fine graters, they're a really great tool for superfood everyday eating, because what they do is allow you to extract flavour where maybe you wouldn't have got it before.
Add the zest and juice of a lime and bring it all together.
So salsa done. Look at that. An absolute picture. Time to serve up the best bit.
Serve your smoky bean stew with some brown rice, a dollop of yogurt, and a sprinkle of coriander.
And then, of course, our lovely salsa. Now it's had a little time just to sort of share the flavours, but a nice hit of that salsa. It's all about that. Let's not be shy. Right in there like that. And some of the juice, just pour that over the yogurt. Gorgeous. It's a really humble dish, but it's exciting. It's an absolute superfood classic. 4 of your 5 veg a day. You've got all of those elements you need in your dinners. You've got your carbs, you've got your dairy, you've got your protein, you've got your veggies. Beautiful. Let's try it. Oh, it's delicious. Investing that time in the vegetables just makes them sing. You've got to give that a try. I'm gonna keep embracing the tofu, just like back in Japan. It's great value, really high in calcium, protein, and low in fat. So let's try and find a way to love it. And a burger, it's just the best way.
A fast food favourite, but not as you know it. A gorgeous golden burger stacked with cheese, pickles and homemade sauce on a bed of crunchy rainbow salad. And all for only 425 calories per portion. Our first job is to squeeze some of the moisture out of it.
You want to remove about 4 tablespoons of liquid.
Losing some of the water content ensures lovely crispy edges when the tofu cooks. Add about 75 grams of wholemeal breadcrumbs and crack in an egg.
We're going to use flavouring from an old friend. You'll either love it or hate it. So I want 2 teaspoons of Marmite. And this is a nice flavouring for me because it's savoury and I just like what it gives this particular patty that I'm trying to create. And that's the great thing about tofu, it's a great carrier of flavour. You know, the Marmite gives it that lovely savouriness, which I like. But at the same time, you could swap Marmite out and put pesto in. You could swap pesto out, you could put miso in. You could use harissa instead. Have fun with it, make it your own. But this recipe is a good base, and it gives you a good texture when you put it in a bun and put it in your gob.
Once it's evenly mixed, shape into 4 patties, and it's time to cook them. I've got an amazing tip that's going to add loads of warm herbal flavour and more crunchy texture to my burgers.
Rosemary, when it gets fried in oil, incredible things happen. It kind of turns into like little crisps.
Lay your patties on top of the rosemary, and now it's time to knock up a vitamin-packed homemade ketchup with no sugar.
We need about 8 lovely ripe tomatoes. Fresh is cool. Of course, you can do this with tinned tomatoes if you want, but fresh, ripe tomatoes are going to give you that kind of sunshine vibe.
Chop up the tomatoes, add to the pan, and then season with salt and pepper.
Definitely, I like a little bit of spice. So a tiny bit of chili sauce or some dried flakes of chili here. And then what other things make a kind of ketchup work? Acidity, that sort of piquance. So red or white wine vinegar, about a tablespoon. So we're not going to add sugar because I think you can get a lovely result, a fresh result with the natural sugars that are in these tomatoes right now. That's why they've got to be ripe, okay? So another little tip is if you go to a market, at the end of the day, they always flog off the overripe ones. They're the ones you want in there. They're perfect.
Tear in some fresh basil.
And you can see this is getting thick already. So what we'll do is, as it's cooking, we'll just use a potato masher to break the sauce. But look how quickly that's happening.
Flip your burgers, cooking them for 3 minutes on each side.
So look at these. I mean, they're looking really good. Great colour, crispy, soft, and sort of nice in the middle. Kind of quite excited about that.
Next, classic burger territory, cheese. To add calcium, but also I want to keep it light on calories.
50 grams is all we need. So to complete this meal, we want to kind of do a hybrid of a slaw come salad, come kind of shred vibe going on.
Eating a wide range of colours will provide a spectrum of superfood nutrients. So I'm using all sorts of crunchy veg, sliced, chopped, ribboned, and for some real retro fun, crinkle cut.
You get kind of crinkle cut chips. Yay! This reminds me of an 80s perm. I don't know why. And once we've done that, let's just get in there, mix it up, and kind of let it just all look gorgeous. Let's just create a massive bed of goodness and colour that kind of all speaks for itself. Look at that.
Next, a dressing for my salad. Plain live yoghurt, good for your digestion. A handful of basil, Dijon mustard, and a splash of white wine vinegar.
You want that twang in there. Some salt, just a little bit, and chilli, about half a chilli, just to give it a little rumble of spice.
Whiz it up until smooth, and drizzle it over your rainbow salad. Time to build your brilliant burgers. I'm using wholemeal buns, on average double the fibre of white. covered in that tangy tomato sauce with your cheesy tofu patty resting on top. And no burger is complete without pickles.
Just 2 or 3. And then the lid. Good. Get stuck in there, boy. So look, there you go. Really healthy, totally balanced. We've got all of those elements. We've got carbohydrates, protein, fruit, veg, and dairy. Yeah, 425 calories of goodness. Hello, Mr. Burger. The tomato sauce is delicious. Texture in there, it's soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. That, my friend, with the salad, unbelievable. Something a little bit different and really delicious. And quite messy. I like it.
I'm taking inspiration from Ikaria and using gorgeous Greek feta packed with calcium with a tangy, salty flavour. It's the perfect accompaniment for a special occasion succulent steak and tabouleh salad, and will bring a little bit of the party island to your home.
Steak, love a steak. People love steak, and definitely one of the things that we've picked up looking at the parts of the world where people live the longest, most productive lives is that they're not eating loads and loads of meat. Once, twice a week, max. So quality, not quantity, definitely important. I've got it out of the fridge about half an hour at least before I want to cook it. You don't want to take things out of a cold place and put it in a hot place. It's going to go tough and not cook as beautifully, so we're getting that out.
To go with the steak, I've already got 150 grams of whole grain rice on the go. It needs to boil for 25 minutes.
What we're going to do is create some really decent flavour. Now, first up, I've got a jar here of peppers. You can get these in all the supermarkets. They've been grilled and peeled. 200 grams, okay? So you've got one of your 5 a day here already. But that juice, now you can throw that, by all means, in the bin, but that is all flavour. So that is going to go into our rice. It's got smoky, salty goodness in there. Let's have it.
Simply tear open the peppers and stick them on the griddle pan.
So get it nice and hot, and it's going to give you that lovely charred flavour. Also, it's been in a jar, so it kind of needs waking up a little bit and softening up a little bit. So I'm going to lay the peppers in here. Now, I've seen people cooking in griddle pans and pouring in a load of oil. Don't do it. You don't need it. A dry pan. Get it really, really hot. And of course, by not using fat, we're not wasting calories. So let's just char those peppers. Bring them back to life. And then let's get on the meat. All I want to do here is just push it down flat. So we're beginning to tenderise it. I want to season it with salt. Quite a nice amount of black pepper, because we know that pepper and steak love each other. And just a little bit of oil, just to rub around the outside. So I'm just going to pat that all over, and that's a really lovely kind of outside kind of crust that we can create on the steak, and that's all we need, okay?
So the peppers are done, put them on a platter and save them to serve with the steak later.
So what I want to do is dress the peppers in the actual juices coming out of the steak. So it's really about being clever about flavour. That's all looking good. The steak can go straight on the bars here. Push it down. Let's get nice char marks. I'll turn it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get a nice crisscross sensation on the outside of the steak. Push it down, and we should be laughing. Again, no oil going in this pan, just the minimal oil on that steak and high seasoning. It's going to be great.
It'll just need 2 to 3 minutes on each side for medium rare.
Beautiful. So next up, this kind of brown rice tabouleh, okay? This is a brilliant way to love herbs.
I'm doing my superfood version of tabouleh. It's a Middle Eastern dish, traditionally made with herbs and bulgur wheat. But I'm using brown rice instead. So to start off, grab yourself a small bunch of parsley and mint.
Right, we're going to go to the most basic chopping action ever, okay? And that's the cross-chopping. Hand here, and then holding the handle here, and just rocking it through like that. This is so simple. And basically keep doing it until it's nice and fine.
Next, chop up 2 spring onions. And then for the dressing, you'll need the zest and juice of 1 lemon and a glug of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil.
So we're doing double lemon juice to olive oil. I want to get it really zingy. So look, the brown rice is done. It's had about 25 minutes. All I want to do is drain that But when the rice is hot like this is the perfect time to dress it in all that gorgeous stuff.
Add a pinch of cayenne pepper to your olive oil and lemon juice. Then go in with the rice and all the herbs.
Of course, you can serve it hot, warm, or cold. It'll keep in the fridge as well, which is really, really nice. But I always think sort of room temperature is absolutely the best. Actually smells fantastic. Let's have a little taste. Nice. Right, I do need to season it, but I'm going to use feta cheese later. And if you buy feta cheese in these little tubs here, there's a little tip. There's that juice in there. The smallest little swig of that juice that the feta cheese comes in is amazing, because obviously it's seasoning, but it's more than that, it's flavour. So we'll take that. We're always taking flavour, and we don't want to waste. The steak is beautiful. I want to put that straight on to our peppers here. Can you see it resting? And that's what we want, where it's resting and there's just juices pouring out of it, okay? That's gonna kind of sink in through the peppers, so you're gonna get peppery beef juices. It's gonna be absolutely lovely.
Next, toast up 25 grams of unsalted pistachios on a medium heat. Nuts are an easy way to add a nutrition boost to any meal, so they're going in.
While that's happening, pomegranates. I just want half a pomegranate. I'm a massive fan. I absolutely love them. And I want to get their flavour into the salad. Little capsules of sweetness. Hold it in my hand like that, put it like that, and just get a spoon and give it a ruddy good spanking. So all those little capsules just sort of bust and burst.
Pomegranates are a source of B vitamins, which help keep our metabolism, immune and nervous systems healthy.
And then just stir that through. Imagine just eating the salad, and then you come across that beautiful little capsule of sweetness, boop, and it's just shock and surprise, but a really nice one, so I like that.
Time to remove your pistachios from the pan and give them a good old bash up in a pestle and mortar.
I'm just gonna sprinkle into the salad. So, this is looking good to go. I'm just gonna pile that beautiful salad onto there. The steak here has been resting. You can see how much juice has come out here. If I just put the peppers to one side, there's loads of that good stuff there. So the peppers here, we can just dress that in all the beautiful juices.
Thinly slice that gorgeous juicy steak and drape it all over that lovely rice salad.
And then I want just a tiny bit of feta cheese, literally 10 grams, just sprinkled over the top like that. I love feta. It's one of the lowest fat cheeses. It looks beautiful, and it's kind of nice to use it like a seasoning.
Add the feta. It's a really tasty way to get some more calcium into your diet.
Once the feta's gone on, a final little sprinkle of pistachio. And there, my friends, is the lovely grilled steak and peppers with jeweled tabouleh rice. That's an absolute crowd pleaser.
And this just goes to show how a little steak can go a long way.
It's totally balanced, it's nutritious. So all round, it's a great, healthy, delicious, beautiful dinner. Look at that. Just gonna have to eat it now.
That super fast, super delicious grilled steak and feta dinner comes in at just under 600 calories per portion.
It's good. It's really good.
Okay, dinner time, guys. And I have a great one here for you. I've taken an Italian classic and given it my superfood twist. This chicken and sweet potato cacciatore is a hunter's stew. Rich and satisfying, this hearty meal will fill you up with the good stuff, and all at only 421 calories per portion.
I bet you never thought it could be super healthy and balanced and tick all of those boxes. Yes, I've done it for you. First up, we want some smoky pancetta. Look, it's tiny, thin, little slithers like that. Will it make a difference? Yes, it will.
Slice it up into little matchstick-sized pieces. Then heat a tablespoon of olive oil on a medium heat, and in it goes.
And as it starts getting crispy, I've got some rosemary here, just a couple of sprigs. I've got some bay leaves. This makes all the difference. And herbs do so well in oil. That's how they transmit all their flavour.
Next, finely slice 4 cloves of garlic.
Instead of using loads and loads of oil and the calories going up and up and up, just clever little tips like angling it like that, You can cover all of those bits of garlic. The smell, by the way, is already incredible. We can go in with the 4 chicken thighs here. 1 nice thigh per person. You've got the bone there for flavour. Just by getting skinless thighs, you're reducing the saturated fat straight away.
We're going to roughly chop an onion into 1/8. Onions are a simple way to pack in flavour without loading up the calorie content. Then, roughly slice the white of a leek, split the green part, wash it thoroughly, and finely chop it. Leeks are a great source of vitamin K, which helps bone strength.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add something that's not in the classic recipe, just a little bit of chilli. I only want a half, okay? So I'm just going to split this chilli all the way down. And some parts of Italy where I've had this classically done, of course they wouldn't have originally had chilli, but they had black peppercorns and they go quite heavy on it. So I'm just going to kind of reenact that a little bit. And I'm going to put a half in. And the point is this, I'm not going to chop it up so everyone gets it, but I'm going to lose it in the bottom of the pan. And it's just going to be this lovely little hum that adds character to the whole dish. And then at the end, you can take it out. And if you want to chop it up and put it back in, you can. And it's a nice little extra. OK, so this is softening up beautifully. And that softening is going to create sweetness and flavour and depth. So investing in this part of the stew is really, really important.
I want to add some chestnut mushrooms, so I'm trimming 100 grams of them.
So with the mushrooms, what I'm going to do is just take the end off like that. And I just find that just by removing that, you get this beautiful, beautiful sort of cross-section of the mushroom. And when that's on the top of the casserole, it just gets gorgeous, and I love it. And then these kind of offcuts and trim, there's so much flavour in there. So we just chop it up, throw it in, and it'll get lost in the sauce and be absolutely fantastic. And then on to the sweet potato. I'm just going to cut off little inch chunks like this. And the reason I'm just cutting them quite chunky like this is I want nice, meaty, chunky bits. And as that roasts and kind of stews, it's just going to be less like a vegetable, more like a protein, more like a meat. Let's turn the heat up now and let's get some sizzle on. And that's when you want to add about 250 mils of some decent Chianti. And if it's good enough to drink, it's good enough to go in here. It's important now to season with a little salt and pepper, and then we'll just adjust it a little bit later. And then one thing that I nearly forgot, 8 olives, okay? Just 8, that's all you need. And I think sometimes we think about olives almost the wrong way. So olives, when you buy them, don't get the ones with the holes in, right? They're salty, they won't taste very nice, and they're never that good, okay? Get the ones with the stones in, different story. And then all you have to do is just squash them with your thumb, and we'll take that pip out, and the flavour's extraordinary. It's kind of not in there to be an olive, it's a sort of seasoning. Go in with 2 tins of tomatoes, and once you've done that, let's half fill these tins and get all the last sort of remnants out of the tin, but also we do need a little bit of water as well. And then just break those tomatoes up, and then we're just going to give it one last little stir. Just look at that. That is beautiful. That's an amazing one-pot dish. You know, 10, 15 minutes just to put it together.
Now that's going in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius, which is 375 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 5 for an hour.
I'm very excited about this. Look at that. First up, look at the way I cut that sweet potato. Just by having a big chunk, it's cooked differently. If you chop it up small, it goes like something you'd see in a soup. But like that, it's just kind of substantial and gorgeous. And you can see that little bit of effort on the mushroom just looks super pretty. Got some lovely, simply cooked seasonal greens. Anything you like, anything you can get your hands on is always nice with a lovely stew like this. I'm going to serve it with a slice of bread, but remember, you know, this is beautiful with rice, this is beautiful with polenta, pasta, mashed potato, so kind of take it your own way. That is proper food right there.
This really is an easy-to-make, delicious dinner packed full of the good stuff. Bigging up that humble hero that we need to get onto, the sweet potato.
Let's get in there. First of all, let's just check the chicken. Has it gone gorgeous and tender? Yes, it has. Look at that. That's exactly what I wanted. Lovely, tender chicken. So good. I like getting the old bread and just using it to mop up all the little bits, the sauce. Super good.
I want to show you another delicious superfood meal. We're going to do a gorgeous crispy Asian beef with brown rice noodles and loads of shredded salad and zingy dressing. A lovely lunch or dinner.
It's really nice and simple to make. So 1 pan on a medium heat. I'm going to get a handful of peanuts, about 20 grams, into a pan like that. Just want to toast off those peanuts just to wake up the flavours, get the oil going. I've got a kettle of boiling water and I want 150 grams of noodles. Now, there's loads of brilliant noodles available now in the supermarkets. These are brown rice noodles.
So we're trading up from our white noodles. These are whole grain and they've got a whopping 5 times more fibre.
I'm just going to move it around like that and then pour the boiling water straight on top. So we're not going to boil them. We're just going to let the residual heat of the boiling water just kind of be absorbed into the noodle.
Add a little seasoning of salt and give them about 10 minutes.
Basically, keep moving them around until they look nice and plump and sort of perfect to eat. These little peanuts here, you just want to char them a little bit, so I don't need to do much more than that. Just going to put them into a pestle and mortar, and then we'll just grind these up. I want to have some big bits, and I want some sort of powdery bits as well. So that's kind of a garnish, but it's going to be delicious. Give these a little move every now and again. You can just see the starch coming out of them into the water. Beautiful. OK, so in this pan, we're going to add these little babies, star anise. They are so beautiful. The classic flavours of hoisin sauce. And I'm going to put 2 of those in a pan. They'll start to toast up. I'm going to add to the pan 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I'm going to go in with the gorgeous, lean, quality beef. 200 grams. So we're only using 100 grams per person. And we want to get these kind of crispy, golden, and full of flavour.
Using lean beef mince is a really easy way to lower the calories. While it's frying, peel and chop a thumb-sized piece of ginger and a clove of garlic. Add both to the pan to give the beef a real punch of flavour.
OK, so let's have a little toss-up. And we just want to get that really gorgeous and crispy. You can see the moisture's kind of cooked away now. The garlic and the ginger will start almost like candying, and that's what you want. One last thing I've got to put in there is a little bit of honey, just a teaspoon. Tiny little bit, 1, 2, 3, and off it goes. That's all we need. It will give it a lovely shine and a gorgeous sweetness. So now, keep your eye on this like a hawk. OK, dressing. Now, I need a little bit more ginger and garlic, but what I want to do is show you a lovely way of doing a gorgeous zingy dressing. I'm going to use a grater. What's amazing is that little teaspoon of ginger there is more than enough to flavour this gorgeous dressing.
Then grate 1 clove of garlic.
And the lovely thing about raw garlic is it's hot. It's got a real kind of pungency to it. Keep an eye on that lovely crispy bits. Don't go too much. And then chilli, you don't need much. Say half a chilli. Again, grating it. Grating it gives you a different flavour. You can see it splattering juice everywhere. And it's going to give you a lovely warm hum.
Add a teaspoon of low-salt soy sauce and a teaspoon of fish sauce.
Soy sauce and the fish sauce are quite salty, so we're not going to season anything else in this because this will do it for you. So being mindful of salt is definitely useful. And then 1.5 limes. So I'm going to roll these limes like this. I'll reserve half just for putting on the side of the noodle dish because we like that. And then we'll squeeze 1.5 in there. We want it to be sour, salty, hot, fragrant. Have a taste. Ginger's good, chili's good. Maybe a tiny bit more soy. Happy days. What I want to do now is look at the salad. So with a round lettuce, you could use jam or romaine. It's quite nice to mix up the visual appeal. So we've got quarters here. Things like radishes. The humble radish is really good in these gorgeous Asian dishes.
These contain so many nutritional goodies, and they're an excellent source of vitamin C and folic acid, which we need to keep our immune system strong and healthy.
Look out for the different coloured ones. Look at that. Really, really nice. Things like everyday cress, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an egg sandwich, just cut it off. That in a stir-fry dish, beautiful. And then onions, finely sliced for sure. You want to make them nice and delicate. And feel free to mix up any veg you can get your hands on. Cabbages, greens, anything crunchy. I'm going to use some carrots here. And if you wanted to, just use a little speed peeler with the carrots and just keep peeling it. And you get those lovely ribbons, which are undeniably beautiful and delicate. So I've got some coriander here, and all I would do is finely slice the stalk. They're delicious and sweet and a little bit crunchy, and we'll keep these leaves nice and whole. So look, there's all our shredded veggies in all their glory. You know what? Cress, radishes, round lettuce, carrots, they're probably the cheapest, most available everyday veggies. With a bit of love, care and attention, you can transform them into things of beauty. Let's have a little look here. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Crispy bits, golden, looking gorgeous. Try and get your timing of these being golden and sizzling and straight from the pan on the cold salad to the last minute. So when it hits the salad, it's like, that's the dream.
Drain the noodles and divide between your plates.
Silky and soft. Those brown noodles have got a nice natural flavour. And then those quarters of salad, hit with all those gorgeous radishes, carrots twirled about, the spring onions, you want those everywhere. A little wodge of cress, coriander stalks. And then wait for our golden, crispy beef, and just shake that on top. And then, of course, we've got this dressing. Try and pour it in and around everything. Peanuts. Just a wodge. Like that. This is going to be a joy to eat. Happy days. This is absolutely the kind of stuff I love to do in the middle of the week. You can knock it out quick, makes you feel good. So good. Healthy food doesn't have to be boring. This is full of texture, colour, flavour. This is a lovely, lovely dish.
A fresh, vibrant salad in a zingy ginger and chilli dressing, scrumptious noodles and caramelised beef.
440 calories, loads of veggies. You've got your carbohydrates, your protein. It's a really exciting plate of food.